folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to Why You Should Buy a Board Game in 5 Minutes, where I try to convince you to buy a board game in 5 minutes, or less, or more. And today I'm going to be talking about Arkham Horror. Arkham Horror is actually got a board, so it's actually a board game. It's got a board that's the city of Arkham over here, and you and your friends play a group of investigators in a Cthulhu-ish 1920s sort of, horrors from beyond the veil that mankind's not supposed to know about and that they want to devour the world. You're trying to stop them, and that sort of thing. It is fully cooperative, no trader mechanic or anything like that, and it's got like a certain amount of like role-playing-ish kind of mechanics. There are tons of different characters for you to choose from to play as, from, a psychologist to an archaeologist to a doctor to reporters to bodyguards, mafia people, all kinds of different people like that who end up with different statistics and different starting equipment. Throughout the game, you will in fact be collecting a large variety of equipment, allies, skills, and little cards like that that will help you defeat the horrors that are spreading throughout the city. Ultimately, you're trying to defeat the big bad before there's too many Doom tokens on the Doom track, in which case the big bad awakens, and then you still have a chance to save the world, but you have to fight the big bad, and that can be extraordinarily challenging. The normal way to win is to close all the portals to the other realm. But every turn, more monsters are being spit out, so you have to manage going around trying to slaughter the monsters that wander around the board. You're trying to balance picking up clue tokens that can help you seal gates permanently. You're trying to wander around collecting more resources like guns or magic talismans or things like that so that your characters can survive some of these difficult encounters, and also actually going through the portals to the realms beyond so you can come back and then seal everything and hopefully actually advance the game in some way. It does say that you can play it with up to 8 players, and that there's no reason that you couldn't, although the turns, I suspect, you'll be waiting a fair amount of time between the turns. Now, of course, like most cooperative board games, you'll end up, I'm sure, with a lot of coordination and talking about things. So even when it's your turn, probably 3 or 4 other players will be weighing in with opinions about what you should do. And it could always suffer from like that the table captain mentality, where sort of one person might be dictating to everyone else what they should do. So that's going to depend maybe on the mechanics with your group of friends. But overall, it's got a great sort of mood. Every place you go and you sort of explore, you get these kind of I think they call them maybe like event card type things. So something will happen where you might meet someone and they might scare you, or they might give you an item, or you might have to do a roll to avoid being hurt, or all kinds of different things can happen in these. So there's a lot of like very, very cinematic sort of mood things and events. There's also newspapers that come out every turn that can cause more things to spawn, or for like a strange mist to descend on the city, which changes some of the mechanics for that turn, and so on and so forth. It really does feel like you will win, lose as a group. One of the great things is you can't, if you die, for some reason you die in the game, which can happen, you just come back as another character. So you're never out of the game for realsies until you get to the stage where the big bad awakens. And there are many different big bads to choose from. Some are easier than others. And all of them have an effect on the actual gameplay itself. So just by virtue of playing with, say, Azathoth over here, something will be different. So his maniacs have a greater toughness, for example. For Ithaqua, the cultists are tougher. I can't pronounce this name. It's really weird. I think I just accidentally summoned some sort of greater evil. I'm not sure. But we play this a lot, and what's great about this is, despite the fact that it can be kind of intimidating because it's got many, many tokens for many, many different things and so many object cards and things, and it looks like a very complicated game, it is surprisingly accessible, both because the actual game mechanics are not that rough, although the manual is pretty big, and there's a lot of like different gameplay mechanics that you do have to be aware of. But I think as long as one person knows most of the core mechanics, especially for like monster abilities and things like that, almost playing like a dungeon master just to make sure that the events happen the right way, individual players trying to do their own thing have a relatively easy time. And the fact that it is cooperative means that you can have people of different skills play the game together and, you know, not get stomped. Although, again, it's going to be important that that you don't try to, like, just tell someone else everything what to do and really work together as a team. But it really does, it gives you the same sort of sense that something like Pandemic has. Pandemic is probably like your gateway drug into cooperative board games. Then you pick up ARKHAM Horror Next, which also has like a ton of expansions to add like extra secondary maps, more events, more things to deal with. A lot of really like good atmospheric mood ones, like things like there's like an Egyptian sarcophagus in town, which again, very, very appropriate for the setting. And so the atmosphere is just 100% dead on in this game. And you don't tend to feel like you're beaten so much by randomness. I mean, things are always getting bad and bad and bad and bad, and things can quickly start to feel like you've lost control over things. But I don't think that the game usually feels like it's unfair. There are dice rolls, but there's a lot of different ways to manipulate those mechanics so that you can sort of make your own luck, I don't know, and hopefully not get eaten or go insane. If this is your first time to the channel, I hope that you enjoy this series, and if you want to watch more, do make sure to drop a subscribe. And as always, feel free to leave comments down below about what games I should cover in the future. I do have a lot of them. I might have one on my shelf already, or maybe I'll use it as an excuse to pick it up. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.